Ready for our last panel for today with our younger generation of SheTekkies. And it's my pleasure to introduce Sally Nadler. Sally is the former Assistant Dean and Director at the Douglas Project for Women in STEM at Rutgers University. And she's also a SheTek Power Team member. From 2017 through 2019, Sally led the nationally recognized Douglas Project for Women in STEM as they implemented and expanded multiple gender equity initiatives at the undergraduate level in the engineering, computer science and technology, public health, and scientific research areas. And prior to Sally's retirement from PSE&G in 2016, she had over 35 years of experience in a diverse range of operational, technical, and managerial positions at PSE&G. So lots of great experience that Sally's bringing to us today. Sally?
All right, Elaine, thank you very much. And I should have included my passion for helping develop the next generation of talent in non-traditional fields. So I'd like to welcome everybody today to the student conference panel, our SheTekkies. And it's interesting for those who have been with us the entire day, you heard earlier the panel, the workforce development panel, talking about what we need to do in order to attract more young women and more women into technology roles. Well, we're going to hear from our student panelists today, and we're going to find out what attracted them into their pursuits now. So I would like to ask our student panelists to introduce themselves with their name, their school, what year, they graduated or will graduate, and what your major is. And then I'll head into the prepared questions. So Jaren, how about if you start us off, please?
Hi, everyone. Thanks today having me here. My name is Jaren Kahyoğlu, and I'm a computer science student in Mercer County Community College. In 2013, I got my undergrad in maritime business from Turkey. And then after coming United States, I got the tech magic. And then now, last year, I got my associate degree in information system. Then I now following the computer science in the same college and hoping to graduating this spring. And next fall, I'm planning to start my master degree.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, Jessica, would you like to go next, please?
Hello, my name is Jessica Nagar, and I go to school for computer programming. I'm a sophomore at Raritan Valley Community College.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Seema, let's hear from you.
Hello, my name is Shema Gudarius, and I'm a senior at Rutgers University. I study computer engineering. I will hopefully graduate this upcoming spring. So,
yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Liz.
Hi, everybody. My name is Liz O'Hara. I'm a senior computer science and graphic design double major at Rider University.
Okay, great. So we have New Jersey's community colleges and undergraduate colleges adequately represented here. So let's dive into the first question, and I'm curious about this. What led you to your interest in technology, and what led you to decide and direct the focus of both your education and potential career path in the field of technology? And Liz, let's just go right back to you, okay?
Sure. So for me, growing up, math and art were pretty consistent in my life and the main themes to a lot of my interests from a really young age. Actually, throughout the college search process, though, I was super interested in pediatric physical therapy. I thought that's what I wanted to do because since the time I was a kid, I was always involved in sports and liked working with children. But what changed my outlook was really the opportunity in my senior year of high school to design a young women's symposium website and advertising. So the day was a day to give high school girls the opportunity to hear from different professional women speakers about their careers and what it meant to be a woman in their industry. So I was able to create the website outlining all the day's logistics, registration, displayed videos, and I also created advertising as well. So reflecting back on those contributions that I had made to the event, computer science and graphic design really made sense. And that's why I shifted my interest, because I think graphic design for me encapsulated my love for creativity, but then computer science really utilized all those mathematical concepts to understand complex algorithms. So I think that's what kind of broke me into that territory. And although I never really learned programming or had many computer science experiences before that time, I knew I had the confidence to step into the major because of just my strong background in math and a lot of great mentors that helped me be successful throughout my educational background.
Thank you for that. And that so articulately highlights the intersection between technology and just about any other field of study you could possibly desire or imagine. Something we also spoke about in one of the earlier panels today. Jaren, would you like to go next, please?
Sure. After business coming to the technology, I don't know how it happened, but I think it was meant to be. I found one of my diary that I kept in middle school, and I wrote down there, it's like, I want to be a computer scientist. I said, wow, I was like, how did I forget that over those years and lead myself to the business? But when after graduating, and especially after coming to the America, I think my tech interest got me aware of again. In university, I had the startup idea that I wanted to do, like a software application. Then I realized that I have no idea about the coding, what the technology language is, how can I talk it, even if I'm gonna hire somebody, I don't speak that language. So I started to take some courses, and then there was a teacher, actually I could say him as the role model too. He was so passionate about what he's doing. He was talking about the artificial intelligence. Is it for me wow, I got his passion too. And after coming to America, I lived in the East Bay, California, in the Silicon Valley. And I think that the environment, when you are there, there's no way back. You got the magic. The people, my friends, every people that I met, they feel like they can change the world for better, and they can do that. That was so powerful. And I knew that after moving to the New Jersey, I'm gonna start doing something about my childhood dream and also my work ideas. That's that get me like that.
You were just inserted right into it.
Yes, I think my subconscious got back into the track, remembering my wishes.
Thank you so much. Seema, would you like to go next, please?
Sure. I mean, for me, I feel like it was always there. Starting with when I was very young, my dad and I would sit down and fix stuff together. We would take them apart and figure out where which thing goes and how we can fix it. And then at the end, we would put them together. So that was always inspiring for me. And usually those things were technological devices, like a remote of a TV or anything like that. So it was always there for me. I guess I just followed it through and found myself in computer engineering.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I'm not sure if you were on at the beginning of the conference, but the initial keynote speaker talked about the attraction of problem solving, and that led her into technology as well. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go watch the video when it's available. And Jessica, what led you to your pursuits?
So I was always interested in technology, and in high school, I had the opportunity to try multiple fields such as graphic design, web page design, and then computer programming. And at first, I fell in love with the idea of going to school for graphic design because I liked being creative and I liked making things for people, and I've always wanted to do stuff with computers. And then my junior year of high school, I found a programming class, and it just clicked. It was just everything that I wanted, problem solving, like you just mentioned, and mathematics, and there's a correct way for things to run, and it won't work otherwise. So I like the very structured curriculum and how things have to work. So once I found computer programming at my high school, it just felt effortless. It felt like the perfect fit for me. And my teacher saw how much of a natural I was, and she told me about great opportunities for women in technology and the industry. So she was like my first mentor who helped me figure out that this was the path for me. So I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask you where you attended high school?
I attended high school at Phillipsburg High School,
Oh.
and now I go to school in Raritan and do computer programming.
All right, Phillipsburg, New Jersey, because earlier the panel talked about some of the career and technical education programs in New Jersey that are gearing themselves more toward technology, and how they're seeing a lot more girls enroll in those programs. So that's great. So a couple of you have mentioned some of your early role models. I wonder if you all could just talk about who were some of your early role models and mentors, and what role did they play in your decision to pursue technology and also in your development through the field. And Seema, I'd like to start with you, please.
As I mentioned with the previous question, my initial role model was my dad, because we would do things together. I mean, we would go to a shopping mall together as a family. And my mom and my two sisters, they would go to other places where my dad and I would go to a technology like stores to figure out what is there, what just came out, and how we can use it. So it always stayed that way for a while, I guess. And then later on, obviously my dad knew my interests, so he supported me to go through technology, and especially in engineering, it's a bit tougher for women, or like, is it? I don't know, maybe it's just people are trying to make it tougher for us, like for us to feel that way. But once you have support with you, you figure out that it's actually possible, and you can just go through it just like you want it to. So yeah, I think his support was really important for me.
Okay, and since now enrolling at Rutgers and in a baccalaureate program, have you found other role models to continue to inspire you?
I think later on, I realized that we can basically take anyone as a role model for anything that they do great at. And I believe that you were at Douglas too. I was at Douglas, and I am a member of Douglas. I think everyone is role models at Douglas.
Yeah.
You can find anyone to help you.
Douglas students and faculty and staff inspired me as well. Okay, so Liz, how about you? For you, some role models or mentors that you've had in the past?
Sure. So I think from a young age, my mentors have really been my mom and then my sixth grade pre-algebra teacher, Mrs. Henning. So my mom was always an advocate for me from a super young age. In fifth grade, I missed the mark to start the honors math track in middle school by just a few points, and I was so disappointed. But she really had the confidence that I was able to handle the work regardless of that one test score showed. So she helped convince myself and my professors or my other teachers that I was prepared to take on those classes. And I think ever since that time, she's been someone in my life that's really pushed me to set the bar high for myself, and really just taught me there's no barrier to what I can achieve. And it was never really about like avoiding mistakes or like getting those perfect scores on all of my assignments. It was more about struggling and making mistakes and learning how to grow from that. And I think because she kind of believed that I could succeed, I knew that I could as well. And then along the way, I've also had some great math teachers that have helped me. I think specifically Mrs. Henning had this passion for math, which just created a positive and really curious atmosphere for all of her students. So she helped us really work successfully and like be confident to talk about these complex like math scenarios, and just errors became learning opportunities in her classroom. And then I think even now in college and well beyond, I've had a wonderful mix of teachers, both male and female, who've really supported my process and my development within the tech related fields. To a bunch of them are on here today: Dr. Vital, Dr. H, Dr. Moria, and they really just serve as support systems and people that I can go to just ask about being a woman in tech and like figure out my career and see what path is right for me. So I've been really lucky to be supported in that way. And I think that's helped me develop and really enjoy the computer science field.
And it also highlights our roles and responsibilities as potential mentors and role models to you all. And Jessica, we'd like to hear from you, please.
So some of my first mentor in computer programming was my high school teacher. I've been lucky to have all women programming teachers throughout my learning career, which has been a huge influence and a huge help because I feel comfortable talking to them. They've given their own input into how they got into the industry and how the industry really is for women in programming. And then when I went to college, I met my professor, Miss Yang, and so far she's taught 3 of my classes at Raritan. And we have a great connection. We email back and forth outside of class time about projects and things I'm working on. So just having someone so supportive and helpful is a great addition to the skills I'm learning at school. So those 2 teachers have really pushed me forward and showed me that I can do this no matter what other people say, which really means a lot to me.
That's excellent. That's great. And then were any of you involved in early programs to introduce you to technology, involved in anything like Girls Who Code or Tech Camp or something like that? And do you think, if you were, do you think that made a difference in the education and or career path that you chose? And Jessica, let's stay right here with you.
So yes, in high school, I was a part of the school's Girls Go Cyber Start team, which is a free national program for high school students girls students to get into cybersecurity. And I did that the first year I started doing my programming, and all of the challenges they had you do was hard at first, but once I talked to my teacher and we worked on it, after learning the skills and doing the challenges, it was very rewarding to figure it out myself. And once I got more confident in that I could actually do this, it helped me pick the right career path. And so that was really, I did it 2 years in a row. And the second year, I actually got my team to nationals, and we were like the top 20 out of like 60 teams at nationals. And I was really proud of that we got to do that. And I helped my team, and we got more girls at our school to join. So that was a great experience to be a part of that for 2 years.
That's excellent. And are you still involved now, or?
I wish I could be, but it's just for high school students. So I'm trying to find something for college students that we can do.
Okay, all right. I'm sure maybe some of your peers may have some selections. If not, we'll talk to Miss Yang about getting a SheTek student something going at Raritan Valley.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Liz, how about you? Were you involved in any early programs?
So interestingly enough, I wasn't really involved in a lot of computer science related programs. And like coming into college, I really didn't have any computer science coursework or experience. But along the way, I have been involved in a lot of different things that I've helped apply to my career path, and like have helped guide where I want to go with my computer science undergraduate studies. So I'll take the kind of question in a little bit of a different direction, but so I'm a part of Unified Sports, which partners with Special Olympics New Jersey to give individuals with disability a chance to play on a competitive sports team. And so I've been a part of this since high school. I played, and then I served as president in my sophomore and junior years here at Rider. And I think involvement in this organization has really helped me like rewrite that narrative of exclusion for individuals with disabilities. And this has carried into my future career path now that I have all of this wealth of computer science knowledge, that I want to be able to think of more equalizers within the world of technology, and be able to design and develop software with all disabilities and abilities in mind. So that's what I've kind of committed myself to pursuing within my career afterwards. And I think even though I didn't have a lot of an introduction growing up as an elementary school or middle school student, I found ways to still involve my passions in what I'm doing. And I think there's no correct path to get into technology, but once you find it and you find things that relate to your interest, that's what kind of kept me in it, and what I think keeps a lot of individuals in it.
Right outside of, going to work for the big tech companies, not everybody does that, but through our interests and pursuits, we can work in tech, but also work in another industry sector. I know for me, when I was at PSE&G, we sponsored the first tech robotics regional championship, and I, on behalf of PSE&G, had to go to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and welcome the group in the big gymnasium. And it was just great because every single type of student were involved in team activities, not just the athletes, not just the sports student. So it was really great fun for me and a way to see how we can apply this team spirit, this team mindset across all really career sectors. Seema, how about you? Were you involved in any of the coding camps or anything like that?
I mean, in high school, I did actually first robotic competition with our robotics team. And then we were doing math Olympiads and some other stuff that would, kind of encourage us to be leaders, like MUN. But first program that I was like really into it was Douglas. I guess I'm coming like further with the questions. So, and that's even how I met SheTek. Like I externed through Douglas externship. And then the following summer, I interned with them in my sophomore year. That's how I learned SheTek. So it's like, I guess Douglas was one of the very like base points in my career choice and major choice as well.
That's great. And then Jaren, you grew up outside of the United States. Can you share what inspired you as a young girl, and if you were involved in any extracurricular activities?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't know what was the major driven that I wished for to be a computer scientist when I was like the middle school. But anybody's like technology field in my family. And at the end of the university, I didn't do anything about the tech. Okay, I was like having fun with the science classes, but not much. After that I got that idea about making a startup project. I started to join a private course company that was the first time that I met with the zeros and ones, and it was really hard, like another language. I thought I'm good in the languages because I got German, I got Italian, it was fun. But this was really hard, but that kept me excited. That was the first time that I met. And then after coming to United States with that program, I came here with a cultural exchange program, and I need to join like a university or any college to take 6 credits. And I joined to the Princeton University as an auditor in the computer science class. And that got me amazed, like those professors, that purpose-driven, the students, being that environment. I think that was the best decision that I made in life, like surround myself with the tech people. So I remember and like following this path right now. And then I decided to start the college in this field as like, let's do something about it. Then I came to the Mercer Community College, and my all students and professor advisors, they're doing great job. That's all my like tech purpose here so far.
Oh, okay. All right, great. And now we're gonna open it up to questions from the audience after my final question. And Seema alluded to it earlier. Douglas, and when I was there, has a lot of programs to inspire, to attract young women to STEM, young women to technology. At every one of your colleges, there's programs in place. So as adults, professionals, educators, the National Science Foundation, we're spending a lot of time and effort to attract young women to technology. So from your perspectives, where are we getting it right? And where are we entirely missing the boat? And what should we be doing that we're not? And Jaren, why don't you start us off with this one as well?
Thanks for having us here today. That's amazing what you are doing. Please keep doing it. And that's touching our lives. I actually, honestly, I didn't know that before SheTek until that my advisor and like the associate dean like messaged me, would you like to join that? I was like, I would love to. And there's like such conference, and like if I can do anything help for the next ones, I would love to. For interestingly, I never like find any like just woman in tech kind of camp or like the conference or any workshop. But myself, I'm teaching the young kids. Like I have 2 8 years old kids. I'm teaching like the codes with the Scratch, with the code blocks, and that's amazing that they are just doing the games. But there it's amazing to see that how much they enjoy doing that. Sometimes I'm giving them the higher level of conversation with them about the technology, and just like they're easily picking up. So it was like they can get the frame. That was all my like, if I'm gonna get a birthday gift for any kids now, it's about the science. Anything that building a robot, building a machine, like writing a code, like those kind of things I would do. And for you, you are doing great and inspire us too. And that makes me think about that. What will I do like more? That's definitely great start for me that you contribute to my life today. And but honestly, what we can do better could be maybe make it available out more, like until my teacher says maybe it's my also student, like I'm in the PTK Honor Society member, I'm gonna make sure that all the tech students will be aware of this conference, either woman or like man, that they need to know that and bring some contribution. That could be good, like making the announcements or like the putting the flyers in the emails now with the pandemic. That will be better, maybe that we can do that.
Right, like they said in the entrepreneurship panel, it's all about marketing.
Yeah.
Jessica, would you like to weigh in?
Absolutely. Over the summer, I did an internship at SheTek, and I helped build a new student ambassador program for SheTek. So for colleges to promote that at their schools, would get girls to join technology classes there. And even if we could start going into younger grades, such as high school or middle school, with the SheTek message and the ambassadorship, which would be great, because I mean, it's a great message getting young girls into technology. When I was young, all my teachers encouraged it. And then parents, I've been seeing that some parents are trying to push kids into doing it. But if the kid isn't loving it or enjoying it, let them find what they love and enjoy, because that's what I did. My parents didn't push me to do anything, and I found this myself, and it's the best thing that I could have done, is found the love myself, because when someone pushes you, it makes you not want to do it. So just be encouraging of what people want to do, and if they want to be in technology, give them all the love and support and resources they need to reach their dreams and do what they want to do.
Thank you. That's sage advice. Thank you for that. Seema, how about you? Where are we getting it right, and where are we missing it and we need to pick it up?
In addition to what everyone else said, I think one of the things that is really helpful is having mentors from every part of their career, like from the beginning of their career or someone from further down in their career. If you have a mix of mentors, I think that's really helpful to design where you want to go and actually figure out where you are right now and how many different paths you can choose. So I believe that's really, really helpful. And I also see that SheTek is trying to do it, and many other programs is trying to do this, mixing people from the beginning of their careers versus from further down in their careers. So I think that's really helpful. When it comes to missing something, I didn't catch anything yet, but I can let you know if I do.
All right. Okay, fair enough. And if not, you'll develop it yourself and be a successful entrepreneur, right? Okay, Liz, let's hear from you, and then we'll open it up. I see the questions coming in from the audience.
Yeah, so I think to echo what a lot of the other panelists said, like I think a more intentional job is done today to fuel that enthusiasm for tech at a younger age. When I was going through elementary and middle school, I didn't really have much of the exposure that's being done today. And so as a result, I really didn't seek those opportunities in my high school course offerings. So I'm really thrilled to see that more programming offerings are happening at an earlier age. But I think it relates to what I think we could be doing better when inspiring the next generation is that we rely on this pipeline of getting exposed to science and technology when you're so young, and so that you're ready for the coursework in high school and beyond. And I think while that path obviously works for some people, we shouldn't expect everyone who's interested in tech to follow that. And I think a lot of my mentors that I found over the years didn't start in tech, and I've been able to recognize that everyone gets interested at different points of their lives and in different ways. So I think in addition to helping young girls, we should definitely be creating a pathway for people to get interested in computing in other contexts and at other times during their lives, especially with underrepresented populations. So giving those pathways into the field can yield this huge group of diverse leaders in tech. And after we capture their attention, it's all about encouraging them to stick with it, you know, recognizing their worth, like being okay with failure and connecting them with mentors so that it doesn't feel like we're constantly like in the wrong room, but we feel confident and ready to take on these roles.
That's an excellent suggestion, and one that the Workforce Development Panel actually mentioned earlier. They're creating these pathways to career opportunities in partnership with educators, in partnership with industry, in order to attract underrepresented populations to the key industry sectors in New Jersey. And I think all of you, I think students in general, we must have your voice at the table. We can go off as professional and as educators and create these programs, but until we have students kind of enlightening us as to what's working and what can work for you, given your situation in the world these days, the better off our programs will be. Okay, so here's our first question from the audience, and it's about what motivated you in either your earlier school days to choose technology as your line of study, or what served to motivate you maybe when you walked into a classroom and saw you were the only girl there. So what do you continue to draw on for that motivation? And Liz, why don't you start us off with this one, if you could think of it?
So I guess for me, the early motivation to get involved with tech was just that interest of math that I kept from a very, very young age. And I think that goes back to my point of like, I had a lot of great math teachers along the way that really pushed and encouraged me. And like my parents definitely played a really large role in that. So I think that's really just what started me off and like set the foundation. And I don't know, I think coming from me personally, I just have a lot of internal motivation. It was definitely a little bit scary to walk into classrooms where I could be the only girl in the room. But I think throughout my time at Ryder, especially, I've been able to take on a lot of different leadership roles, which has given me the confidence to kind of like use my voice and know that I'm like a force within these classrooms. And I think a lot of people have played a part in helping me understand that about myself. So I think it's that internal motivation to like be the best version of myself that I can be and not really worry about the people around me and just worry about what I can achieve is what has helped push me within the computer science realm.
Great, thank you. Seema, I saw you nod your head, so I'd like to pose that question to you.
I agree that it's usually within you, whether you realize it earlier or afterwards. It's usually you like it from the beginning, even if you didn't realize it yet. And when it comes to seeing that you're the only woman in the classroom, I believe I was I had experience with being the different one in most of the places. So I kind of knew how it was going to go. It's usually the support behind you and next to you, the other fellow women in the same classroom that are going through the same thing with you that make you strong and go through with it.
Great, thank you. And that's what the research shows as well. Jaren, would you like to comment? Because you may have had a different experience.
I think even being only woman in a classroom, it's motivation itself. Because when I feel like that, okay, I'm gonna be the best leader as a woman, I can be the role model. I think that's the motivation. Okay, I'm alone, but I'm gonna bring some more women to this world. Maybe you can follow me. And I have like kind of that entrepreneurial spirit that I want to do this, I want to do that. After pandemic, even for the young generations, they when they are thinking about what they're going to do for their career, it has to connect it with the technology. So we can actually make them more aware of that for the opportunities and like being good what we are doing, like achieving our goals as a woman first, and then say, hey, we are here, I did this as a woman, I was the only woman in the class and you can do this too. That will be the great motivation for myself. Luckily, I'm not that last in my class. We have a couple of girls that I can do that. Mercer doing great job for that. I think we can manage that. We are being best, and then they can follow us.
Excellent, thank you. And Jessica, how about you?
I agree with everything that they've said. I experienced in high school and college. In high school, I was the only girl in my AP computer science class. And it just pushed me to show all the boys that I could keep up with them and I could do the same thing that they could do. And I actually had some guy friends that I had say that I couldn't do it, and I wanted to prove to them that I could. So I did. And even at Raritan, I only have 3 other girl students in my Python class right now, which it's a little sad, but we're in a group project. And luckily my teacher, Miss Yang, she put us all together in a group. So we're going to do girl power, and we're going to show all the boys that we can do just as good a project as they can. And I am such a girl power person that even my phone case says I code like a girl, try to keep up, because I will always do what I put my mind to, and I will show people who say I can't do it that I can. So I think it's awesome that we're all showing the guys that we can do it and not to be intimidated, because we can do anything that we put our mind to. So I'm so happy that all of you guys feel the same exact way.
That is awesome. And I know you guys caught the end of the entrepreneurship panel, and you heard 2 of the entrepreneurs say, what made you continue? And they said, when they told me I couldn't do it, I had to do it, right? And that question was from Chaya, the founder of SheTek. And she was told she was good at math in school, but she was told it was for boys. So she's so glad that all of you continued on this pathway, and she's thrilled as can be to help promote girl power within your involvement in SheTek. So now we have another question from the audience, and I think this might be our last question. What do you want to do immediately after graduation, and then in the near future, say in 1 to 5 years? And Jessica, why don't you start us off?
So in the next year after I graduate, because I'll have my associates from Raritan for computer programming, sorry. I have a very specific degree. I was thinking about going on to get my bachelor's at another university, or joining a company and starting my career with my associates. And as I go through the company, go back to school with minimum classes so I can learn as I'm doing my job. Because I did the internship at SheTek and I saw how great that their company was and how helpful they want to be, and I want to help with the SheTek message. Once I heard their message, I had to be a part of their community and their message, and I felt a need to be a part of it and share what I knew and how to help them. So anything that I can do to help SheTek or get my first job in the industry and go to school at the same time. So I have so many things I want to do all at once. And in the next couple of years, hopefully have my bachelor's and then get either a better job in the industry or stay where I am and just grow in the business that I choose and just go through the ranks and become the best that I can be. That's all I want to do.
Oh, awesome. And you have an industry, a virtual conference world of women to assist you. Seema, what do you want? What's on your horizon?
Initially, my next goal was going through grad school, but this past summer, I also had an internship. I interned at Oracle as a software engineer, and that made me realize maybe I want to learn what I should focus on in grad school before going right through it. So I am right now considering going into workforce first and then possibly going back to school for grad school.
Well, I know now's the time because all the recruiters are on campus this season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Jaren, how about you?
I'm graduating this spring semester and I want to start my grad school because I did computer science as an associate degree. I know I have a long path to learn. It's kind of being the medical doctor, like, technology. I keep learning a lot, like all the time. It's changing, evolving, getting better. And I want to start my master's, then it I'm planning to do something for the networking engineering, like networking connection, that the server part is like my kind of thing. So I hope I'm gonna be like being the best woman in the networking engineer soon, as soon as possible.
Awesome. And Liz, I'll ask you the question as we wrap up the panel for this afternoon.
Yeah, so I've been really lucky to start taking graduate courses within my undergrad time at Rider. So I've been starting to take some graduate level cybersecurity courses. And then upon graduating in May, I'm planning on pursuing a master's in software engineering. Like I mentioned before, I've been really involved with Special Olympics and unified sports throughout like pretty much my entire life. So beyond and into my career, I really want to work on developing accessible technology just so that people with disabilities can really participate fully within their homes and their communities. So that's my kind of end goal. And then I really want to do the work in helping inspire the future generation of tech leaders to really take on these roles and be confident in them. That's something that I'm really passionate about. And I look forward to hopefully being a mentor to some of those young girls someday.
Yeah. And remember, there's always reverse mentoring too, where you can mentor the executives on how to be more inclusive of girls and women in the workforce. So mentoring can always go two ways. So I want to thank you all. This is a great discussion. I'm hearing from Chaya, I'm hearing from Kelly, what an uplifting panel this was. You are all, and I'm in the boat here. You are all just so inspiring, and hearing you, working with you just makes me have so much optimism for our future. So thank you so much for being here. And we hope you'll continue to be involved in SheTek as we get the student ambassador programs going and beyond as we continue to grow. So I guess from here, thank you again.